Fringe. Ooh. There's a unexplored map marker here, so everything got rewritten. Yeah, it looks like I've arrived in the Fringe to find that it has been completely conquered by the Force of Order. Caswall may have been attacked. I should take a closer look. May. Yeah, this looks totally different. Ash. High probability that the chests we're sort of we need the hearts to open are also here. Yeah, this is just grey piece of shit. Very unappealing. Orderly, but unappealing. I'll sneak, just in case we might be able to look before it do things. Ooh, fight's going on. Can't just sit around. I don't think I want to pick up more hearts. I'm pretty sure I have something closer to 60, 70 of them. 66.
Your Grace, the situation is grim. Passwall is under attack. We are outmatched and outnumbered. Last night, as dusk fell, the spire at the center of town became active. Soon after, the area around it began to crystallize and change. It wasn't long after that the knights came.
The spire, what is it?
You've seen the spire in Passwall. It is believed to be a monument from times past, but its true purpose appears to be more sinister. It appears to be a source of power for these invaders, a portal, or some sort of gate, I don't know. If we cannot disable or destroy it somehow, I do not think that we can stop this invasion.
Tell me about the knights.
The knights are relentless. They do not tire, they do not fear, and they do not stop coming. They appear out of nowhere at the base of the spire. We kill 5 of them. 5 more come. We've lost too many of the Mazkin already. I fear that we will not be able to hold the town for much longer.
So, what can we do to stop this?
I do have an idea how we might be able to stop them, but for now our primary concern must be our survival. I've been losing Mazkin with each attack, and I'm down to nothing but men. We are pinned down here. If we lose, the gates of madness will fall. If the gates fall, the enemy will flood into the Isles. We will be helpless to stop them. Now that you've arrived, perhaps we can slow them down.
So, what are we gonna do?
We cannot talk now. We don't have very long until the next wave arrives. Even though I have served with these Mazkin for decades as the Duke of Dementia, it is your right to command the troops. Command them if you will, or leave it to me. Either way, make haste. Our time is short.
How do I issue orders?
Speak to each of the Mazkin to give them orders. The front line will arm themselves with axes of war. They will hold the line against the enemy's charge. Those who you designate as archers will head to the rear and keep their distance when the enemy draws close. Those with blades and shields will hold the flank. When the enemy draws near, they will close in and attack.
I trust your judgment.
I thank you for your trust. In your name and for the sake of the Shivering Isles, I shall not disappoint you. Inspect the battlefield and provide what aid you can to the troops. Speak with me when you feel that they are ready for battle. Mazkin, form up. For the sake of your sorry nail hides, move! Move! Are you prepared for battle, Your Grace?
Me time.
Provide what aid...
They're not really waiting for me anyway. We have... okay-ish guys, I guess? I just wonder, could I just ignore them and go do my business? Because that's easier for me. Also, what spire do they mean specifically? That one. Right. Okay. Let's get a move on.
Were you able to provide them? If you've done... Very well.
They're just attacking the city that somehow is supposed to defend. I mean, because that's ultimately pointless.
Reform! Back to your ranks! More are coming!
Sorry, dude. For fuck's sakes. The force of knights attacking Passwall have been eliminated. I should speak with Rakendo Udiso about the situation. Yeah, the soldiers were terrible. No chance in hell to survive, protect them.
Victory is ours, for the moment. We must discuss our next move. The Spire is obviously their source of power. This battle will not end until we find a way to shut it down.
So how are we supposed to do that?
I am not certain, but do not lose heart. I have an idea. The ruins of Zedafin run under Passwall. The entrance to the south of the town has been sealed for centuries. One of my scouts reported that the ruins have been opened recently, and a number of these knights are now guarding the entrance.
Did you send the scout inside? No, that the scout would die. Tell me what you're thinking.
If we attempt to assault Zedafin, Passwall will be overrun and we will lose the Fringe. Additionally, our forces are dangerously thin. We have no idea what opposition may await us inside. A frontal assault is not an option.
So, you are suggesting that I go?
Your insight is impressive. While we draw their attention here, you should be able to slip inside Zedafin. Once inside, search for the source of the Spire's power. It must be underground somewhere. Once you find it, destroy it. Good luck, Your Grace. May the voice of the hidden guide you to the way. The knights are relentless. We are the only thing standing between them and the total destruction of the Fringe. This town has stood on the edge of the Shivering Isle since they were born from the mists of time. For our purposes, it serves as a defensible outpost. That is, against typical enemies who can know pain, torment, and death. You've seen the spire in Passwall. It is believed to be a monument from times past. It seems if we walk with...
Right, so we're gonna head
There's the
south.
word.
I'm glad I didn't make a base in the Fringe. It probably all would have been just lost. I'm stuck. We'll kill everyone who followed us here. No point fighting outside though. I've made my way into the ruins of Cetaphon. I must seek out the spire's source of power and find a way to deactivate it. I've been here before. Definitely. Excellent. That said, we are still looking for some treasure items, and I have sort of been ignoring these. Yeah, flawless pearls in particular. Right. Just deeper, 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 and deeper. I'm not here to kill the endless stream of whatever these guys are. There's no point to it. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Well, shit. Let me try something. They're fairly relentless attackers. I'm not sure what would exactly work well. They're probably very good against very good physical attacks. Let's try Gloom Raid first. It's very tanky, but I don't see how it would be all that useful. I don't really see how anything would be all that useful. It'd have to be incredibly tanky. I think it's gonna survive 50 seconds here. I mean, that son of a bitch isn't even doing anything really. Can't kill it. I might as well ignore everything until I have a chance to shut down the power. But I can't do that. How exactly are we supposed to open these then? There has to be a power source somewhere. Something that maintains the priest. He might have a way to open things then. No turning back, probably. I do wonder what the hell am I supposed to be doing here then. I need to go back somehow. A button I'm missing. Going back. No, this doesn't really explain anything either. Situation is just exactly the same. I can't kill any of the priests. Can I go to the side? No. So I'm presuming I'm just missing something in the deeper level then. Priest is there just to resurrect everything. Right, I don't get what I'm supposed to do. Go deeper. Sure.
Who's that?
But to do what? How? Oh, didn't notice this before. Mystery solved. I've discovered the source of Order's power. An obelisk is having its power amplified by the spire that leads to the center of pass wall. I must find a way to shut down the obelisk.
Look out! It's you. I remember you. What are you doing down here? How did you get past the knights?
I didn't.
When they attacked, I ran from pass wall. They didn't say a word. They just started killing. The screams. By the staff, you can't imagine it. The screams. Fellas and I slipped down here thinking we'd be safe. But no, we landed right in the middle of them. Fellas ran off with them and left me to die. Me! That ingrate. Disloyal cur. Imagine leaving me here all alone.
They took Velas?
I didn't say they took him. He went with them. I've heard his voice a few times around here. I think he joined them.
Why haven't you tried to escape?
Every time I look for a way out, I get twisting around and end up back here. But I'm too smart for them. You seem to have no trouble, though. Look at you. Barely a scratch. You'd be the perfect person to protect me.
Yeah, it's very dangerous here.
This place is a nightmare. Knights everywhere, these priests, and whatever they've done to fellas. Listen, those people in Pass Wall need me. Can you imagine how they'd ever get along if I died down here?
Yeah, sure. Come with me.
I'll do what I can to help. I like to hurt things. Maybe I can hurt these damn knights.
I have to kill the followers. But I'm not sure we should wait here. They might lose us if we increase our distance. I mean, we don't want to fight. We want to shut this shit down. Yeah, I know I killed the guy. This is why I hate fighting with others. What exactly are you supposed to do here?
Die!
I've overloaded the obelisk and collapsed the spire. The caverns are now coming down around me and I must escape before I'm trapped. Well, this is not an escape. Oh, you're alive. How the fuck can... Okay, get the fuck up. We need to get moving.
Hi.
Where do we need to go? Right. I think it's best for if we just get the hell out. Other guy's immortal pretty much, so we shouldn't really worry too much about his ass. Well. They are already trapped. Dead.
Well, look at this. I found the easy road. How are things going over there?
Super fun. Can I go past this? Hard to say at times. I've survived the collapsing ruins of Zidifin. I should seek out Grakenko Udiko. Ask her how the battle above ground went. We've been followed? I think the battle above ground is still going on.
Yes, what is it? I'm going to stay here and help rebuild this place. These fools need me.
Well, he's not hopelessly incompetent. Kardenko Udiko is getting her ass kicked by the enemy. Oh shit, we're gonna die. Yeah, he's not doing well.
Your Grace, you're alive. Truly, you are the greatest warrior ever to hold the seat of dementia. I was certain that no one could survive the Spire's collapse, but here you are. By the staff, you are more than worthy to lead us. I fear that our work is not yet done. The area is still overrun with knights that were not destroyed in the Spire. You should return to the palace and speak with Sheogorath. Ask him how he plans to defend this realm.
Yeah, he seems to be just bailing on this, leaving the shit to me. That's his plan. I don't think I can even get to the houses anymore. Barkeep. Still, there are other sites here. Curious what's happening with them. Nothing special apparently. There's what looks like an alien ruin there. I haven't seen this type of map marker before. Not here. Something's going on. What is it? Yeah, it's that. It's the portal. Take a quick look. It's probably very dangerous. No, it's the exit portal. But because the change in the area is not marked right towards Cyrodiil. Right, don't look there's anything particularly interesting here. I think we should go and talk with Sheogorath. Oh, this is totally separate from the rest of the world map too now. So everything that was there, I can't see it anymore. There's a good chance things have changed there to some extent too. Otherwise, why wipe out everything you've discovered so far? No, they're just entirely separate game worlds apparently at the second. Even though the fighting isn't particularly troublesome for us, there's no denying the fact that the knights are good melee combat fighters, and they're good to the point that thanks to level scaling I can't summon anything that would really handle them. The summoning isn't really a viable way to do shit anymore. It's either direct offensive magic. Illusion might be good because it has frenzy, domination, command type of spells. So assuming you can get enough of a high level on them, it should work. But I feel this is the sort of the system where level scaling starts to break things down. Yeah, that was a good move. Can I get out? Yeah. These abilities are balanced at a level where I think I've sort of started to pass. Maybe around 25 it still works, but even then I would think it would start to be weak. Around a little bit over 20. And then no, not anymore. In that sense, it would be better to prioritize the use of skills you never use, so you could control the level ups after a while. I mean, this isn't like the game doesn't work, it's just that a lot of ways of killing and fighting don't scale. Don't scale with the level up system. Especially the conjured creatures should scale like the enemy creatures. Use more or less the same system, so they would always be relevant to the enemies you encounter.
Always a pleasure. News of your success in the Fringe precedes you. To further cement the victory, I have an important task for you to perform. You will seek the assistance of Relmina Vernum in Zalselm to rebuild the Gatekeeper. You remember? The creature you killed to get in here. With the Gatekeeper restored and Zadillion in operation, we won't have to worry about anything getting in. Things already here are another matter. You'll need to speak with Relmina Vernum. She'll help you with your task. Strange woman has some unusual tastes. With that done, the Fringe should be secure. For now. I can feel things start to get a little hairy. And not in the good way, like on your head.
Tell me about Relmina Vernum.
A powerful sorceress. Maybe a genius. And a complete lunatic. All in all, my kind of person. I brought her to my realm so she could continue to study her sixth element. Honestly, I didn't know there were 5 already. She's a bit obsessed with it. And with me! Makes dealing with her difficult. You shouldn't have any problems, though. No one likes you that much.
Right, rebuild the Gatekeeper.
It's essential. Simply essential. If only it were essentially simple, but it's not. I want him there guarding those gates. If any of Jigglag's forces show up, he should be ready for them. It wouldn't do to just let them in if more show up. And more always show up. Still and all, I think things are going well, considering. Go talk to Relmina in Zalselm. Tell her you're working for me. Oh, she'd do anything for me, that little minx.
In this sense, I like the Gatekeeper plan, because the Gatekeeper has so far been the toughest fight by far, simply because it hits like a truck and it has a huge amount of regeneration. So without a huge amount of damage pouring in constantly, it's pretty much impossible to goddamn kill. And he basically killed himself. We contributed a little bit extra to help, but without that, yeah, I have trouble seeing how the Gatekeeper could possibly lose against a handful of those knights, as annoying as they are against normal NPCs that help us.
It's all moving faster than I'd expect, and I'm good at expecting. Things are getting a bit thin. Get that Gatekeeper in place, and do it quickly! I'm not sure how much time I have left! He's almost here. I can feel it! You won't like him as much as me. He doesn't even carry a cane! More the giant bone-cleaving sword type of prince. If he's on his way, I'm on my way out. I already feel not quite myself. Not quite someone else, but not quite myself. Send Relmina my love. That'll get her going.
Don't see any particular reason why I shouldn't proceed with this immediately. Not get sidetracked. Ooh, sidetracking. The museum. I want to get the
Speak quickly, Morgan.
weird tomato to the museum. See what she thinks about that. Shouldn't be much of a sidetrack. Merely stop on the way to where we were already going. I'll probably have to wait a couple of hours though.
Oh!
What were you thinking? Lighting the great torch for Mania? For shame!
Oddities.
Have you found a new oddity that you'd like to contribute to the museum?
Yeah, soul tomato.
Oh my, that is odd. I've never even heard of such a thing before. We'll find a nice place for it here in the museum.
350 gold. Yeah, this is gigantic waste of my time. Right. I still like to find the place where that everyone keeps mentioning. Ah, this again. Where are my skeletons at? Well, we can move while doing this, but still. Where's the entrance? How far from a level up? 4 level ups. Locked blade is not happening anytime soon, neither are armor upgrades. Still, they're there. Failed experiment. We're getting closer. Rager skinned hound. Has skinned hound parts. Probably. Right, we went around something. More failed experiments. Experiment chamber. Right. Ooh, that's a big one. Well, this doesn't look good. There is someone there. I'm guessing we would be experimenting on her if we press those buttons. Hunger versus shambles. Experiment set up an hypothesis hunger versus shambles with Elven Catalyst. While generally an even match, those two shambles versus a single hunger, previous experiments have indicated that the presence of a warm body causes the hunger to increase its ferocity. This territorial hunting imperative is completely lacking in the shambles. They seek to destroy life, not to devour it. In this case, I have confined a hunger to his cage, while leaving an unspoiled high elf female in viewing distance. Hungers seem to have a particular thirst for elf maiden blood, and this one, on the verge of flowering, should be a particularly irresistible morsel. I hypothesize that hunger will fight with greater force and precision in the upcoming battle. After I let the creature and elf maiden stew a while in each other's proximity, I shall return in a few days to run the experiment. Better not fiddle with this one. We'll get the maiden killed. That looks suspicious. Arr. This subject. A trap of some sort. Mm-hmm. Failed experiment. Okay, how deep do we have to go here? Hmm. Week old blood. Okay. Project Hound's Blood, Day 7. My theory stated before trial is this. Blending the most recent concoction of hound blood with that from a headless zombie will result in a beast with greater fury and resistance to pain. Test 1. Subject 1 has the current concoction and Subject 2 has the new mixture. Battle 1. Subject 1 lasted approximately 1 minute before expiring, having done average amount of injury to Subject 2. Subject 2 seemed not to notice most of the injuries it received. Battle 2. After a drawn-out combat, Subject 1 killed Subject 2, but suffered near-fatal wounds. Subject 2 fought to the bitter end with the same energy it started with. Battle 3. Subject 1 went out very quickly. Battle 4. Subject 1 lasted less than a minute. Subject 2 took very little injury. Test 2. Subject A and B both had the standard blood. Subject C and D both have the new blood. Battle 1. A versus B. Lasted just over a minute, both hounds suffering grievous injury and somewhat bothered by their wounds. Battle 2. A versus B. Nearly identical results. Battle 3. C versus D. Lasted over 2 minutes, both hounds suffering grievous injury. Neither seemed very winded or bothered by their wounds. Battle 4. C versus D. Lasted under 1 minute, both suffering grievous injury. Neither seemed very bothered by their wounds. It seems my original theory was correct. In future trials I will try watering down the headless zombie blood before adding it to the mixture to gain some insight into the actual potency of the blood itself and determine how much of the additional effects is coming from its combination with the existing ingredients. Week old blood. I have paired up a hound and shambles of equal fighting capacity. However, I have recently drained the hound of its zombie blood and replaced it with blood extract from a Breton's corpse which had lain for a week rotting in the hot sun. When I return, having let it acclimate to its new supply of vital fluid, I expect the hound will perform with much less efficiency than normal. Yeah, it's a battle test. I'm not particularly interested in the results. Void Essence. Okay, what's upstairs? We have two paths, up and down. Up is where we need to go, so we'll go down first. More experiments. Reptilian appetite conditioning. I have raised these ballywogs and scaled them together, from hatchling to adult. I inflicted great pain on them when they were aggressive towards each other, and rewarded them when they showed aggression towards others. They have since acquired an almost familial bond, normally expressed in warm-blooded creatures. See previous experiment logs for details. For the last month I have been starving them in separate cages, allowing them occasionally to eat, but only tiny amounts of reptilian flesh. I have procured a fatty Breton of previously luxurious lifestyle. There is not an ounce of muscle on him. He should be a most tempting snack indeed, but we shall see. I shall return soon to run the experiment. There's still some time left to starve the reptiles until they are most desperate. Yeah, he's dead if I push the button. We know what type of person we're dealing with, though. Sazelm, Corpse Pit. Sanctum of Vivisection. Yeah. This is a nice place. Not autopsy, but vivisection. He's cutting them up while they're still alive. There's probably a couple of failed experiments that will rise up. Hop, son of a bitch. I think I noticed a big failing in the zombies now that I have more experience with different type of creatures. I haven't used zombies in a long while. They stagger incredibly easily. Nothing in the corpse pit. At least nothing notable. Don't particularly want to loot everything there though. Right, she's supposed to live here. Sounds like fun things are happening here. Another test, don't know what it is. I'll ignore it. Failed experiments. Exit maybe? Right.
No way. I'm never talking to you ever again. After she found out what I told you, she... You have no idea what pain is until she... Just leave me alone. Go away.
Fair enough. Not like her information was useful to me anyway. Never took advantage of that. Unproductive musings. Could steal something. None of this is particularly interesting. Unproductive musings. Today I intended to continue my research into the effect of pain on the host of the unborn, in this case the middle-aged pregnant Breton female, and yet, no matter how many times she was ripped apart and resurrected, I simply could not bring myself to the requisite attentiveness serious study demands. Rather than the usual precision of observation, my faculties seemed possessed of a peculiar poetic sensibility, so that rather than dutifully lugging each scream and twitch of agony, I seemed transported by her cries to some other place. I became sheltered within a tapestry of tranquillity, woven from the screams of the Breton's anguish warped against the grunts and clacking of the beasts and shambles that toyed with her. It was there, in that spot, my soul naked and clean, that I came to a sense of clarity. And like all, dare I say, religious experiences, returning to my mundane senses, I am left with little more than a faded memory of supernal knowledge, like a burned parchment on which once were written words of wisdom and understanding, of which now only torn and blurred fragments remain. The harder I try to remember that innate knowledge, the more it seems to recede from me. The essence that remains is this: pain is a force that purifies, ennobles, and uplifts. It is the fire that burns away impurities, that melts away imperfections. Death is not the sign of weakness, nor bodily constitution the sign of strength. It is what happens to soul when brought into the fire that determines the mettle of men. Those with inner strength are forged into weapons of devastating keenness by pain's fire. Those who are undeserving and weak turn to dark and lifeless ash in its heat. And there it stands in all its inscrutability. So much for an unproductive day. Perhaps tomorrow will lead to more fruitful experiments.
How does this make you feel? Please indicate on a scale of 1 to 10 how much pain you are feeling at this moment. It appears this level of pain causes you some distress. Interesting. You dare disturb... You! I remember you! You're the adventurer who slew my gatekeeper, are you not?
Yeah, I slew him. I needed to get in.
The ends justify the means, do they? You'll pay for that one day. Now, by all means, come right in. Walk in here as if you own the place. By what authority do you disturb me?
Yeah, by authority of your lord Sheogorath.
I see. Sheogorath is too important to come on his own account. He sends his mortal lackey. Well then, I trust my servants didn't give you too hard a time getting in here? What is it Sheogorath's lackey requires of me?
A new gatekeeper is required, my lady.
Ah, your tone is more in line with my station. Please continue.
Will you lend us your powerful magic?
Yes, powerful magic indeed. It is proper that you bid me kindly, lest I show you the meaning of pain and suffering. Alas, I am still distraught over the destruction of my sweet child. I cannot return to his womb. You must do this. You will travel to the gardens of flesh and bone. There you will gather mystical components needed for the ceremony. Go fetch me blood liqueur, osseous marrow, dermis membrane, and essence of breath. And take this key. It will allow entry into the gardens and give you direct access to my sanctum.
Talk about the victims.
Oh, you mean my research subjects? Don't trouble yourself with their fates. They're volunteers of one sort and another. Besides, they are furthering important research into the nature of pain and suffering, of life and death. Don't be concerned. I always return the worthy ones to life. Besides, Lord Sheogorath has sanctioned my studies and my methods. Any loyal servant of the Mad God would respect his decision in this matter.
I don't really care.
I'm glad you are reasonable and open-minded. Perhaps Sheogorath's faith in you isn't misplaced after all. Now let's not speak of this again.
Gardens of flesh and bone.
For many years, I labored painstakingly in those gardens until my back bent and my soul became crooked. But the fruits born of that labor were the essential components of true flesh. You will go there and gather the components needed to bring my new child into this world.
Any info on the components?
You will travel to the gardens blood.
So how do I collect these things?
Are you not the exalted Duke, slayer of the great gatekeeper, champion of our mighty lord Sheogorath? I'm sure you'll be able to find these things. If not, perhaps Sheogorath's faith in you is misplaced. Go now. You try my patience. Away with you, dog, and fetch me those components.
Where's the nearest exit? Need to mark this location pretty carefully. Where is it? Secret entrance, right? Seems simple enough. I'll hold my ass toward to the side at least, lead things to that. There's a lot of these combat gauntlets here instead of actually doing interesting things in the quests. I mean, as impressive looking as this is, and I like the people and the themes and things like that, but the actual quests have been less than stellar so far. A huge amount of fighting and not the strong point of the game. Fighting count, gauntlets after gauntlets after gauntlets.
Ah!
I'd really also like to know where the hell do the hearts actually belong? How do they open certain type of chests? What chests are we talking about? I know the place we need to go isn't here. I'm more or less taking a look if they left something interesting behind. What is that? Just a statue, I guess. We can always quick travel to the site we need to go to. Guess they all just... No, they all did not die. Anyone still alive? I think we got them all. Where is it? Gardens of Flesh and Bone. We are getting a little bit closer to a level up. The lucky armors are going to get upgrades fairly soon. I'm not sure if anything good will ever come of that. The opponents are just gonna get stronger, but my combat capabilities are not increasing anymore. My survivability isn't changing all that much, so unless we get some massively good equipment, which we already have, frankly, nothing's gonna change one way or another. I think this system would work better if you would just basically cap things a little bit. So some bandits would more or less might level scale a little bit, but a bandit would still always be a shit opponent no matter what. That way you could basically guarantee the quality that certain abilities will retain their usefulness no matter what. Right, there's nothing interesting here. Gardens of Flesh and Bone. We're here to collect ingredients, nothing more. I do not care about the fighting.